Showcast Network.
Well, if life gets you down and you're wearing a frown, a good laugh is all you need. It's one like a pot or slapping a cup and cheaper than a shrink. So just click that mouse for a diagnosis. They got your remedy. No matter if it's sexual, marital, legal, or political, they're gonna ease your pain. I said they're gonna ease your pain. Dan Gabriel and Robert the best medicine.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Best Medicine, the show where comedians attempt to solve your problems. How are you, Mr. Duchesne?
I'm doing great, man. I just want to remind people to go to iTunes and subscribe to our podcast and also rate it and leave a nice little comment there. That helps the show move up the rankings and gets us more listeners.
That does. And if you're not an iTunes person, you can just get the show at thebestmedicineshow.com. And you can also send in problems through that same website.
Yeah, but try to be an iTunes person. I mean, this is the 21st century.
Some people just don't have iTunes. Some people are iTunes-less.
It's bizarre to me.
Yeah, don't computers just come with iTunes now? It's like
Yeah.
a standard thing?
I don't know, but it's iTunes. You just download it. It takes 10 minutes.
I get some people who are like, "Hey, how do I listen to your podcast?" I'm like, "I couldn't make it easier. It's 2 clicks." You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Makes me angry.
I didn't know people didn't have
I don't-
iTunes.
Some people don't. Some people like to watch the show on Ustream. We also have a Ustream account, and you can watch the show.
Are we even on camera right now?
I think we're on. Are we on camera?
Yeah.
All of us?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Awesome.
I don't have a close-up camera on me? All right, fair enough.
You don't?
I guess not.
You should.
I know.
We should have a butt cam on you. Coming up from the chair.
I have been working out.
And we have we'll never know. All right. So very excited about the show. That right now we have an awesome guest, a friend of mine from Texas, who I met down in Texas, and he lives out here now, where he has his own podcast. David Huntsberger is here, everybody.
Hello, you guys.
How you doing, man? What's your
Good.
podcast?
It's called Professor Blastoff.
Okay.
And what is the theme of
look.
that show?
I didn't. Yeah, no, I wasn't expecting
Is
that.
it superheroes? Are you solving crimes?
It's a guy who started a radio show in like the 40s whose last name was Blastoff, and he was a genius. And then he created a time machine and got himself lost out in interdimensional space. So he sends messages to himself through like a satellite radio sort of a thing. And we play them and then play the messages, and it's usually him reminding himself about a topic, and then we just talk about that topic.
Wait, what?
I like that.
It's typically like science or philosophy driven or something that you could chat. It's sort of like a fireside camp chat. with your
So
pals.
give us an example of a subject that the guy from the 40s brought up.
We've done like astrobiology, and then we've done like we recently did polyamory, which is just sort of
So does the guy just come on and be like, I know MC square equals something.
yeah. I mean, it would
And
be
then-
as silly as that, and then we would take off. We'd maybe talk about.
I just called you silly.
Oh, man, I thought you were laughing at my joke.
Yeah, then we just take off from there and talk about like relativity or energy or something under that umbrella, and then that would be the title of the show would just be relativity, and then we know nothing about that, so we might bring in a physicist and chat with them, and so we've had some PhDs and professors on and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
Sounds great. Let's listen to that show.
Yeah.
Let's just stop this right
It's
now.
a good
I wanna hear
idea
it.
for a show, though. I'm tired of comics just having podcasts where it's just 2 guys sitting on a couch, like, talking about comedy and the open mic scene and shit, you know?
Yeah, well, that's what I thought you were going to say. What's your podcast?
Oh, right.
It's, comedy from the road.
Yeah.
Instead, it's about astrophysics. What?
Yeah, that was out of nowhere.
I love it.
But
It's,
you'll talk about astrophysics even though you have nothing, you don't know shit about it?
They
We
bring
try
somebody
not
on,
to-
he says.
We try not to tackle it on our own. I mean, if it's just going to... So it's me and Tig Notaro and Kyle Dunnigan. And
Okay.
it kind of started with Tig and I sort of chatting about, what would make a good idea for a podcast is talking about this sort of stuff. And then she was like, Kyle would really like that. As we started getting into it, realizing, like, Tig didn't graduate high school. I mean,
She didn't?
She didn't. No.
Really?
She's really sharp, though. I mean,
She puts off the air of somebody with like a master's.
she's very worldly smart. You know, she's traveled. She picks up on things very quickly. Meaning, like little.
She acts like she at least went to the 10th grade.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
She gives
Kinda.
you that 10th grade vibe.
Yeah, like a, like a workaholic type person.
She comes off smart to me.
She is smart. I mean,
Yeah.
she just didn't. I don't know. I've never really asked her about it. If
Kyle, on the other hand,
no, Kyle is a nut. He went to college as well, but he was like a theater major. So none of us have any expertise in any of the fields we're interested in. But like, we'll bring in So if we were gonna,
That's like us. We have an advice show.
yeah, it's good.
But
to
we
do.
live horrible lives. We can't fucking think our way out of a wet paper bag.
but our perspective on other people's bullshit is much more focused than our own.
Yeah. Plus, we make fun of them.
Yeah. It's way easier to point at somebody else and tell them what they should be doing. It's
When
that
you're-
man in the mirror.
Yeah, that's Patrick Keane.
Yeah.
He has a great joke about why great players are not usually great coaches because they don't really get like a guy that sits on the bench is a good coach because he's seen the game from the bench.
Yeah.
Whereas if
Right.
You know, and that I think that translates to life. Like if you can see other people's things, and be like you're doing that totally wrong.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're up late at night ordering shit off TV like infomercials.
Which is why Duchesne and I give such good advice because we're on the bench of life.
And you know what? There is something to that. Comics are kind of like observing society, right?
I think that's the idea. Yeah, you have. I think that's why Tig is sharp. Is the little nuances or the little things of bullshit. She's able to quickly catch those and be like, "This is a dumb thing we all do." And then as comics, like, if you can recognize that in someone else much easier than yourself.
I would argue that we're of the last people allowed to call bullshit when we see it. You know
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
probably
Like,
true.
you can't even get realistic shit on news anymore.
No,
Right.
well, everybody's so opinionated, but I like what Carlin said. If you to write jokes, you kind of separate yourself from the earth. Mm-hmm. You're not part of this, and you just look at it as an observer.
Yeah, which is still like, how do you genuinely do that? And then there's the whole.
Mushrooms. That's what I do.
It still does. I still feel like a part of it all the time. And this world.
Well, yeah, it's not easy to do. You try to do that. I mean,
Right.
It's what you attempt to do.
But don't you feel like this world, this nice little podcast niche, will also become bullshit eventually? I mean, it gets infiltrated by advertising and all the things that sour everything else. It'll eventually work its way in here, and people will have to censor themselves or have to kind of check it down just a little.
We beat that by having no one listening.
That's
You know?
really the genius of our show. That's
Exactly. We put on such a horrible show that no one listens. And
When I
advertisers
think-
will never get their hands on this.
If it's sort of a Brave New World or 1984 paradigm where everyone is on iTunes and everyone's getting the latest technology and moving to these cities, these megaplexes, and the Monsanto group is growing food for them or making it out of synthetics, and then there's one person just living out in the hills broadcasting on like a ham radio, has that person really won if they're still calling out all the bullshit just alone?
no, because nobody's gonna know what the fuck they're talking about because they're living in a different world.
Exactly, yeah.
They
so,
can't even call on the same references.
No, but you can just broadcast a podcast from your house, and somebody will be able to pick it up somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot
It
to
happens.
be said for the shows that have the freedom of. That's what I think makes Maron's show great is that he's in his garage and it sounds like doesn't give a fuck because he's in his garage. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we come all the way down to Universal Studios to do our show, and it's. I mean, this is very opposite of our garage. It's
But what you're saying is, at some point, he could become so nervous about losing advertisers that he'll watch what he says.
yeah, that could happen.
well,
And
yeah.
that's
even
kind of the
now,
news.
Yeah,
The news is influenced, and the news
I
has
mean,
awards to win. The first to bring you Katrina. The first, they're striving to win things and get acclaim and get better sponsors and backing.
And when their advertisers go, I don't want you covering that story like that, or I want you covering it from this angle and not from this angle.
Yeah.
It's like I was just talking about this on the other show I was on, Talking Marijuana, about how a lot of times when newscasters do pro marijuana stories, they they come at it from this Cheech and Chong point of view of immaturity, and they don't take it serious from the first word out of their mouth. They're
Right.
like, let's give the stoners their little.
It always comes
their
after
little
like a
weed.
paper shovel.
Yeah. Or they're giggling their whole way through it, and it's like, can you just approach this like it's a fucking
No, those
real story,
idiots
you
are
asshole?
trying to be entertaining. Just give me the fucking news. That's what I want. There is no news anymore.
There is no, and it's
Unless you go so far the other way with, what's his name, Wolf Blitzer, who just puts you to fucking sleep.
well, even that's tainted in its own way.
I knew a sound guy who worked for the news, and he was saying, you see all those little vignettes or like a little snippet where, and this is exciting, research on a drug showing the effects of da-da-da-da, whatever that is, and they'll show, that is a prepackaged promo put together by the drug company that they will sell, or they will pay the news to put on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that can happen, like this isn't approved by the FDA, but this will get some exposure to it and get kind of a grassroots movement.
Yeah.
In a really unethical kind of way. You're showing something that doesn't legally do all those things. It's just in the testing phase, and then you sell it. You'd hate for your podcast to become that, where you're.
No, I would love that if any drug companies want to pay us to
endorse their products.
Yeah, whether it's been tested or not, we don't care.
We just want money.
We'll even take it on the show and
Exactly.
see what happens to us over the duration of the hour. We might start twitching. We'll take any. We don't give a shit.
That would be a great podcast.
That would be a great podcast. A pharmaceutical company it's the Random Pill Podcast. At the beginning of the show, we're all going to take a pill. We don't know what it's going to do.
What do they call that? Testing? Some kind of testing? Medical testing?
Mm-hmm. Clinical
like
research.
A placebo
Yeah.
versus a real.
Yeah, one of us will have a placebo and the other two will have the actual drugs.
Well, that's
We don't know
that's
who.
what the kids are doing nowadays. Is that they just like throw a bunch of pills in the middle of a coffee table and stir it around, and you just
Really?
yeah.
Man, I can't believe no one really raised an eyebrow at that's what the kids are doing these days.
That's how I got those bad stool softeners. That was not my best party.
all I'm saying is that sometimes I watch my son and his friends. Sometimes my son has other 5-year-olds over to play, and I got to see what the kids are doing.
Hey, 5-year-olds got good drugs these days.
Well, they have tiny hands. They can get into a lot of medicine cabinets.
That's true. They're endowed with all the great gifts.
So, David, is there anything on your mind troubling you that you could share with us?
Oh, tons. I mean, I brought up Monsanto. I feel like I always say that wrong. That's driving me crazy.
The whole non-labeling food thing drives me crazy because my parents voted against not labeling your food, and I was like, "You fucking crazy? What? Why would you?" And I was like
Conagra
yelling
and
at
all
my mom
these-
for a second. She bought the bullshit commercials that Monsanto put together about.
That was genius. Like, whoever came up with that, like, hey, let's just say it's killing small business, small farmers to have to print extra labels on food. That makes, what is that, like 10 cents a year in ink they're going extra to say?
It's so far down the line away from them when the label gets put on it.
Whew. I mean, that was staggering that it completely shifted it. That was going to sail through and pass, and then all those ads came out that were just... And fuck that farmer that like stood there on the fence and went, "This is gonna drive me out of business."
I know.
You know what's gonna drive you out of business is having your chickens made in a laboratory somewhere, and now your eggs are not worth anything.
That guy's not even a fucking farmer. I've seen him at auditions.
Yeah.
I mean, like that guy. I'm sure that guy was.
I've
just,
auditioned for that kind of stuff because I got that Midwest farmer kind of look and for stuff like that all the time. So I'm sure he wasn't even a farmer.
Yeah, and just the idea that everything on television, my dad's bad about that. He's like, well, it was on TV. I mean, there was a guy there saying that he grows this
He was
food.
wearing a lab coat, son.
Yeah, Dad, but I mean, a lot of times in like prop departments or wardrobe, they'll have like a lab coat. No, they don't just put stuff like that on TV. He's a legitimate guy.
They can't put stuff on TV if it's a lie.
Yeah.
It was like, I forget the show, but they're talking about Tom Cruise. Saying that some woman threw all her pills away because there was a scientist on TV saying that it was bad for you. No, that's a Christian scientist or whatever he is.
Yeah.
Scientologist.
He's a
Scientologist.
Scientologist. He's not a scientist. People believe what they see on TV.
It has
I do.
science in it.
I don't have a problem with the genetically modified foods. I have a problem with the not labeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a part of me that likes the science aspect that we can create food that way. And if you're an animal lover, you could have something that tastes just like meat but was made in a lab. You might dig that. You know, it's saving the animals.
But I'd want to know.
Right.
Like, tell me that it's a thing. I'll probably still eat the other one.
No.
I'll probably like the one that you made in a lab more.
Yeah.
But come on, tell me.
No, because yet the hurt feelings is what really gives it the flavor.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it like
Like
how
when you caged
like
and
how at
abused.
Chick-fil-A the homophobia makes their sandwiches
Right.
taste
Yeah.
better?
I mean, that's
right.
proven.
That is
Yeah, that is a
proven.
fact.
It's the waffle fries that you can't get.
It just
thinking
feels dumb
through.
to fight it. We're gonna live in high rises. We're gonna be forced in there, and we'll only communicate through virtual reality, and we'll only be little slots will open, and a tray of food will come in, and then you'll eat it. And it tastes like what I remember chicken being like, and then right back to video games, and everything's like a digital network. We somehow create business through and operations.
And then-
You mean
we're all-
before we evolve into energy?
yeah, before
Right,
there's
right.
that final step.
No,
Yeah,
in where David's talking about we're plugged into the Matrix.
yeah, it's a
I
very
know, but
We're all
eventually
just
we'll
batteries
evolve
for the
till we're just-
machine, but occasionally we have raves.
you go down. Yeah, you go down to the bottom.
You go
It's
down-
just
it's
Zion
just,
down
let's
there.
have a rave until the machines show up.
Is that
So
the third Matrix or something?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't see the third one?
I stopped after the second one.
It was probably a good decision.
The Matrix was great, the first one.
Yeah.
And then that's it. The rest of it was just put money in my pocket.
The
Not mine,
second
but
and
theirs.
third, they could have really gotten into that, the transition from being humans to the machines. I don't feel like they did that very well, which I would like to see. I want to see that step, because that seems like that's the next one in line for us with this synthetic food being made and cars being too goddamn smart. Like, cars can drive you around all over the place, house you in them, shut down. Like OnStar, people just opt for that your car could just be shut off at any time.
Really?
Yeah.
From space?
From anywhere, from the satellites. They have complete control over it. So if a theft happens and you call and say, hey, my car got stolen, they'll locate it, put it to a stop. Just stop the car. And sometimes you can lock the person in. They'll have to like kick out the window and jump out. And now cars having the reverse cameras, which seems like a handy thing. Except imagine like you're in a high-speed chase. You're the last remaining normal human. You're like, I see all the bullshit. Everyone's feeding into this. And you're driving, and all the cameras are fucking looking at you and all the cars. You realize, like, there's nowhere to get out.
There's nowhere to go.
You're captured everywhere.
I a long time ago predicted the ticket that I got in Portland a couple of weeks ago is that it sort of occurred to me when I was, how like you make
That's
an
a funny
illegal
prediction.
right.
One day I'll get a ticket.
One day I'll get a ticket. No, but let me get there. Like if you make an illegal right, the cameras go off at the intersection.
Right.
I remember thinking, I'll bet they're gonna start that shit with speeding tickets. Just set
Yeah.
up a speed gun somewhere and a little thing to just take a camera. And then that shit happened to me in Portland. I drove past a van, flash. And I brought it up on the show a couple weeks ago, and you said you might have gotten away with it, and I didn't get away with it because I got a letter from Enterprise saying you got a ticket in our rental car, and that'll be an extra $18, and
Wow.
your ticket's coming.
Here's what you do. This is the
Wow,
best
they
way to
give you
get out of
18.
that.
That's bullshit.
That's not certified, the letter that comes that sends your ticket to you. And there are two ways to get out of it. They say you can contest it, or you can say it wasn't me driving because it's just a photograph of you. So you write on there, it was not me.
But I rented the car, and I'm the only one registered to drive the car. If I
would still chance it. I would still say wrong date, you had it wrong, Enterprise. Because this is what you do. Once you get
wait,
the
I
ticket,
can test it with Enterprise, or I
No,
can test it with the.
They sent the reason all those are going under is no one pays them, and the best way to get out of it. This is what I did. I looked up someone on Facebook that had a similar name to a friend of mine, and then I just wrote on the thing his name, and then I put his dimensions were similar to mine, same kind of hair color, similar build. And then I just put his address was my friend's. And my friend goes, yep, I got a letter. Went to this guy that doesn't exist that supposedly lives at my house. And I was like, great, just tear it up and throw it away. So the people think that guy got a ticket that he never paid. He's fictional. He doesn't live at that address.
Wait, you found somebody on Facebook and you took their photo.
No, I didn't. I just found that person and their birth date. They had listed it on Facebook as public domain. And that's all you have to put. They ask you who was driving, and you say so-and-so was. And they ask you for three things. You only have to answer two of the three: their name, their driver's license number, or their date of birth. So I just put that guy's date of birth, his name. So if they check that in a database, they're like, oh yeah, he's a real guy. Send it off to where they think he lives.
What if that guy doesn't know and he
He never got it.
Okay.
It'll never come back around to him. if anything, they would have to like call my friend who goes, and then he would just say, "Oh yeah, that guy, I haven't seen him forever."
Okay,
yeah.
so you put down your friend's address. This is great. You're giving me advice.
Yeah, you're welcome.
fantastic.
Yeah, do that and let us know how that worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get a chance to do it, I was nervous, and I was like to my friend, like, if you don't feel comfortable, tell me. He's like, "Oh, I'm in this all the way."
Is there a
So-
way also where I can get his social security number and credit cards?
Well, probably. I think you can get all of that. I mean, that's why, like,
Can I
especially
sleep with his wife?
like hosting a podcast. If you say your pets' names or children's names, don't have any of your passwords have anything to do with that on the internet, because someone listening tries to type in your info. Oh, I forgot. Then you say, okay, just let me go through the check here. Question 1, what city were you born in? You've probably mentioned that on the podcast.
Yeah.
What's your pet's name? You've probably mentioned that. They have all your shit.
I guard it with 2 things. First of all, my password is impenetrable because it's the word password. Also,
that's
It's
airtight.
impenetrable.
also, I have horrible credit, which really guards my
So
identity.
come and
well.
get it.
Yeah, I had a condo and it got foreclosed on, and boy, am I lucky.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody breaks into my account, we're both going to be disappointed.
Creditors can start calling that guy now. Yeah. Now you can start avoiding calls. All right, so we got from Monsanto, then we sort of went around in a...
Well, that Protection Act that just went through is infuriating. That means that whatever seeds they're working on and they're genetically altering, if they're harvested throughout the United States and they prove to cause any number of problems, spinal meningitis everywhere, that act said that they cannot be tried. There can be no litigation. They can't stop them from growing those seeds. They can just keep growing them, which sounds outrageous. And maybe I was reading something that was a little inflammatory, but as far as I understand it, that's what it means, is like they are untouchable. They can now create these seeds in any number of ways, plant them, harvest them.
Yeah, the days of farmers owning the seeds
No,
is
those are totally over, yeah.
It's Monsanto owns all the seeds.
They
You're not
can hunt
allowed
you down.
They will fucking attack you with like 30 lawyers will show up at your door.
Yeah.
Like fucking if you have one seed that you grew yourself.
Yeah. When you think of farmers, you typically think of very like conservative. There's nothing has as much big business or big government involved in it as farming does, where they'll like subsidize crops. They'll pay people not to grow a crop for a year. And then those same people vote for like, you got to earn your money. You got to keep your money. Like, you didn't do shit. You just own a field and you didn't grow anything in it. Fuck Obama. Like,
They
asinine.
don't realize what slaves they are to that company. You're basically just
But-
you're growing their seeds and their shit. You're just babysitting their food while it grows.
But you're also getting paid handsomely. Farmers are richer than ever now.
Really?
Absolutely. I mean, farmers. They're a small farm still, but once you get involved in that, being paid, being subsidized to grow a little extra corn. Did you see Food Inc? And
I
like,
did see Food Inc.
so, like-
and everybody listening should run out and rent Food Inc.
Yeah,
'cause it
I'd hate that to be the only thing
pries
that-
your eyes open.
Yeah. In a pretty like reasonable way, I think. I've talked to some people that saw it and they're like, nah, it's whatever. That happens. As far as like it's not that terrible. the
I
farming
managed
business.
to. I stayed off meat for like a month or two after Food Inc. And then I kind of forgot and remembered how good bacon is.
Yeah, the pigs thing really bugged me. I think pigs should be killed in a cooler way than just a swinging faceless gate that just shoves them all into a kill pit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like in Pink Floyd, The Wall. You ever see that?
I don't remember it.
Okay, well, it's the same thing, but kids.
Oh, I'm okay with that. But you shouldn't treat pigs that way.
It's so. What can we do about it? Do you eat organic? Are you Trader Joe's
I'm
guy?
part of the problem. I mean, I live in a city. I don't trust, even if it says organic, I don't trust it. It's still wrapped in plastic. I don't know where the hell it came
You
from.
can usually tell if it's organic because it's small and shriveled up and
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
look
already
nearly as
rotting.
good.
as the stuff full of hormones.
Grown with pesticides.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you
In
have
fact, they
to-
probably just take the stuff that's spoiling and put it over into organic. Oh yeah, that's organic.
Yeah.
I'm such an asshole that like you heard that in Europe Burger King was serving horse meat.
Yeah.
And I was in a Burger King like the next day here, like, well, that's Europe. I'm sure there's nothing going on here. Like, my suspension of disbelief is strong. I can focus it.
Well, later you can eat horse meat in a lot of countries.
Yeah.
That's why it's in there.
Isn't it strange that humans came up eating raw meat, and if you see a piece of raw chicken on a table now, people freak out like it's fucking napalm. Oh, everyone wash their hands. Like, that is something people just used to grab and eat, and now it's the deadliest thing that could ever exist. Just
Well,
raw
that's
meat.
because of the way it's processed, too.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know?
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the way they cut up the chickens and then the intestines get inside.
Mm-hmm.
People used to know that, trial and error. They lost a lot of people, I'm sure.
That's another great part in Food Inc. where they're showing that guy that's
the
doctoring them
Virginia
outdoors.
farmer, who was explaining how if you just let the cows go shit in the field and then push it into the soil themselves, that it would cure.
The E. coli.
Yeah.
571 is the only E. coli that spreads and is like deadly to humans, and that because the corn, it heats up their digestion, their stomach too much, and then it propagates this bacteria that they shit out, that they stand in, that gets on the hides, that they then like touches the meat when they're butchering them. And
But
then
if they were out in the field, the sun would dry their shit out and kill it all.
No, they
and
wouldn't have it
wouldn't
because
a
the
problem.
grass, 2 weeks on the grass, it brings their temperature down to a normal, and they shit it all out, and they don't have E. coli anymore. So just eating like grass it's not as hot. Like when I had horses as a kid, you're like, oh, that grain's too hot. It'll give them a stomach ache. I don't really know what that means. Maybe that's just like when they metabolize it, it does heat up.
It's better for the cows and it's better for the fields that they're growing shit in because there's less diseases and crap running through the soil because the cows are also helping the soil.
But I think
Yeah,
the
yeah.
problem is, A, they get fatter, right, with the corn feed, and it takes more land to graze cattle than it does to have them. When you drive up the 5, you ever do that to the Bay Area? And you got what they call Cowschwitz right there?
Yeah, it
where it's
smells
just-
like halfway there.
Yeah, you're halfway to San Francisco and you smell shit.
Yeah.
And but they're all on that. All the cattle are on the dirt,
Yeah.
and they're all crowded together because
Well, that's why
they don't
you-
want them to move, and they don't need as much ground,
Right.
and they get fatter by eating the corn.
And you know what's weird is that the fast food places that are closest to that ranch, the food's better. I swear to God, the burgers are better for some reason at Harris Ranch at the stop. Jansen's nodding along in agreement.
Well, maybe
wait till
there's something-
Santanella, you're getting a fucking
Nah, it's
old
like,
ass.
Those fast food places, they get shit shipped in.
No, they're getting the fresh.
Yes, I'm sure
they're getting
that's
the
right.
fresh shit from
Yeah,
down the
sure.
road.
Maybe that's a trade-off. Like, you're going to have to put up with this smell, and the way we leach off the waste here is bad for all the water supply for miles around. But we're going to give you the top cuts of our meat. Keep cranking out your hamburgers.
That's
and then
right.
you're like, oh, yeah, fuck yeah. All right.
$6 burgers coming your way, buddy. All right, we
Sure.
gotta take a break. We'll be back with some listener problems. Oh, and I wanted to say something right before the break. What was it? We were-
That's all right. Let's just.
I thought of an ultimate conspiracy as well.
All right, we'll get to that after the break. All right, clip of the week.
You're listening to the GoCast Network.
What's up, guys? This is Danny Trejo, and I want to tell you about the best restaurant in Southern California, the Second Floor in Huntington Beach. The Second Floor is a one-of-a-kind tattoo and cutting-edge art bar. The food is amazing. Try a rockin' nachos, the sliders, or the monster colossal burgers, or my favorite, the Trejo's tacos. Second Floor. I'll see you there.
Greg Buckstar Sides here for the GoCast Network.
I'm Gary Garver, formerly of the Howard Stern Show, and I love the GoCast Network, Greg. It's awesome.
I love the GoCast Network too, and you know what I love about it is the partnerships we have, like with Ustream.
I dig Ustream.
Me too. What a great place to watch live content like we do 30 shows a week live.
Yeah, we're kicking ass here at the GoCast Network. And how can people check out our shows on Ustream?
Well, what they can do is they can go to GoCastNetwork.com, click on the little live preview, boom. It opens right up. You're watching on GoCast, and bonuses to Ustream because guess what? It's their little thing.
And we got some great shows here.
We do.
Check us out.
Check us
GoCast
out.
Network.
GoCast Network.
All right, we are the Stimulus Package After Dark. I got my drink. I'm Dante.
I'm Rebecca.
Oh. shut up.
Sorry, drinking.
Anyway, we drink and party every Tuesday night in this studio, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 in New York. Tune in every week.
GoCast Network. Awesome.
Dan's Music Clip of the Week, brought to you by Bitchin' Sauce. For veggies, chips, sandwiches, and more. Bitchin' and Saucy. Get it in ya. bitchinsauce.com.
Joe, you sure got it figured out. She loves you so, at least that's what she said. And God took a toll and showed you what it's all about. Oh hey Joe, you always do what you're told. You poor young fool, you should never listen to what they preach to keep you on a mission of hate. And dare I say, your brother's got a big mouth. Dare I say, so what?
Do what you want and make the fuckers pay. Don't waste your time and sleep your life away. I always meant to tell you I don't like you anyway. Dare I say, dare I say.
Quand t'arrives minuit et que la lune est belle, on voit alors dans le ciel arriver les morts vivants. Ils sont vêtus de vieux oripeaux de miséreux, usés par le temps et brisés par les ans. On les accueille avec joie, ils sont notre espérance, notre raison de vivre, notre seule puissance. Dis-moi toi qui sembles avoir 1000 ans, raconte-moi comment c'est dans le ciel, comment. Raconte-moi si les étoiles sont d'or, raconte-moi comment.
Do what you want and make the fuckers pay. Don't waste your time.
All right. Clip of the week. This week, the band is Brand Van 3000. If you want to look them up, they have some good shit out there. I like it. Did you hear that?
We didn't get a chance to hear it because we were talking.
All right. Well, let's get into your conspiracy theory first, and then we'll get into listener problems.
Ultimate conspiracy theory. You want to save animals, you want to provide food for human beings, and you want to get them all located in one place. Maybe Monsanto is ultimate big brother. They propagate this notion that cattle are a huge part of like the methane problem, the CO2 problem. They're ruining our atmosphere. This global warming is going to heat up everything, and therefore they are the ones behind all of this movement to essentially create all synthetic food.
Okay, you're saying that they want to just do away with animals and just start growing food in a petri dish.
Yeah.
Dish.
Created out of soy, created out of other chemical additives.
They're probably doing that shit already.
But they want us to be a part of it.
It seems like all the tofu that I eat is all soy.
Yeah.
There's your conspiracy.
Yeah.
I knew it. God damn it. All the sauce I've been pouring in my Chinese food, soy.
Yeah, you got a point.
Fuckers.
They're everywhere, man. They're getting into everything. They're going to own us.
It sucks. I mean, what are you going to...
Can't fight it.
They're the empire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't see a big movement getting established. Like even
none of us have enough money to stop the machine that is Monsanto. It's just you could tell everybody you know about all of the evils of it. It's not going to.
I clicked 2 buttons and I signed a
do?
petition, and I felt like I had really contributed. Like, hey, I clicked this thing that told Obama that I wanted to, him to veto that, and dang it, that didn't work. Me clicking 2 buttons didn't work. So I don't know if I'm going to take to the street.
Yeah.
Even if we all did, what difference would that make?
I know. Eventually, we'd have to break for dinner, and we'd all have to go just eat the shit that they're.
Or
serving
worst
us.
case scenario, they dissolve and they say, "All right, great. You think you can feed everyone? The planet escalates at 200,000 people a day, and you're going to feed them with just cattle living off grass? Go nuts!" And then everyone will be starving. Like, oh fuck, we need excess. We need more food. We need a food with a lot of calories packed into it because it turns out, in hindsight, we can't feed everyone. We need some, like, some additive, some bonus, a bump up. So the synthetic food is a way of, like, protecting us from nature's ill will.
How many years are we from Soylent Green?
Got to be approaching it rapidly. I would say in 15 years things
15
are going to be
years?
rapidly.
It's people.
Like,
It's
very
all people.
different. Yeah.
I can't wait to taste people.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think it'll be 15 years, though. I think I'll be dead, but oh well.
But you'll be delicious.
You're only giving
I will
yourself
be.
15 years?
No, but 15 years. I don't think it'll be 15 years. What
If your
it'll be less than
family
that.
eats you,
It'll be longer than
then
that.
you're
I
part
see.
of
I don't
them
think I'll ever
forever.
get to taste humans
Yeah.
legally.
It's really the ultimate recycling. Mm-hmm. We're going to run out of room to bury people. And then it's going to be like, you got to jump on the eating people movement because it's recycling.
People will rationalize it like, well, when you cremate someone and you spread their ashes, that nurtures the soil, grass grows, the cow eats that grass, you eat the cow, you're eating your grandmother.
Yeah.
She's just in that cow. And then they'll go, why don't we just skip a couple steps? And once grandma passes away, let's grind her up.
Why wait?
You could cremate her and cook things on... Come on, I don't want
Just
to get into
start
this.
cutting
This is
her
awful.
body parts
This is
off
terrible.
as she gets older.
Let's solve some listener
Let's have a
problems.
little leg of grandma tonight.
Oh, you fucking ass. All right. What's up, DNR? Not a problem, just a question. Really, what makes a girl unattractive to you?
We did that one last week.
Oh, we did?
Sorry, I meant to tell you that.
Oh, shit. All right, well, I wasn't here for that one.
Yeah, but you listened to the show.
I did, but I didn't listen. I listened while I was falling asleep. All right. Hey, guys. Well, cross it out if it's done, jerk. Hey, guys. I crossed that out really loud. You could hear that on the mics. Hey, guys. I run a childcare business from my home, and I'm most disturbed by my next-door neighbor who sunbathes in her backyard with nothing but a skimpy bikini. There's really not much room between our houses, and parents of children have mentioned it. I'm embarrassed to say anything because it's her property. Who am I to ask that she be more modest around all these children and parents? What should I do?
Isn't there some simple screening you could kind of hang up to just provide a little buffer? Keep it on your end.
It doesn't mention if she's hot or not. I'm willing to bet on not.
I'm willing to bet on is.
I would say is.
Is?
Yeah.
Because that's who complains.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. The parents come over and they're like, oh, God, I don't like my kid having boners all day.
No, they don't really care about the kids.
I think the dad would be like, I'm
That's-
not going to do anything to disturb this.
But the mom is like, my husband is going to pick up the kids sometime, and I don't want him looking at that. There were hot dog vendors in Miami that were wearing thongs, and women protested, and every one of them weighed a good 200 pounds or better. That's the only ones that were complaining. They didn't want. I don't want my husband walking out and seeing that.
Surely
yeah,
they
because he might expect you to go to the gym.
Yeah.
It is strange that she's sunbathing that much.
It's her house, though.
Also, were they rubbing?
Is it? How does she pay for it? Maybe she's a model. Maybe she needs to.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she's probably a trophy wife.
That could be.
And her husband's
because she's
at work.
clearly not working. She's
Right.
just out sunbathing all the time.
Apparently, I didn't think of that. Yeah. I hope she's wearing sunscreen. I'm worried about her now.
What's the address? What is the? Because we'll go have a talk with her
Absolutely.
sometime. Just call us when the.
I would think if it was really bugging you, there's something cheap you could get at Home Depot to just kind of tack up some netting that at least obscured the view a little bit, and then you're not
Here's the
insulting
thing:
her.
if the lady sunbathing sees you masturbating to her just once, then it all goes away.
Yeah, that could be.
It could be a bridge.
It could be. And she's wearing less today. What do I gotta do?
I'm gonna go with Plan A.
And once she catches you masturbating to her, then it could open a conversation, like you said. And then, hey, could you do it a little further away? I guess, I don't know. I'm like, I don't see any problem here. I think the problem is with the people. I mean, I don't know why the parents are complaining.
It's a natural thing. It's her natural body. How dare you scoff at God's
Did you ever
creation.
live in a subdivision like that where the yards all connect?
Yeah.
It's creepy. You look up and you can see everyone's lights and windows.
I hate being at a hotel where the pool is in the middle of everybody's rooms
Yeah.
and you're like swimming or you're sitting in the hot tub and realizing like everybody in this motherfucker can peep out their window and clock everything I'm doing.
Yeah.
And if they don't, you can yell a couple of times, and then they will.
Yeah. I'm masturbating here.
Does no one give a shit that I
I need an audience or I can't do it.
I need somebody screaming at me. Threatening to call the police to get off.
I can't come without hearing the numbers 9 and 1 dial. All right. Dan and Robert.
So what's the solution?
Oh. What?
My solution, I say, is none
it.
of your fucking business.
Yeah.
I go the netting, and you can always say,
Or
hey,
the netting, sure.
The kids are kicking balls around. I don't want to disturb anyone. If she, hey, is this because of me? To a certain degree, perhaps, but don't trouble yourself. This is my thing. I'm putting up the netting on account of the soccer balls, and then maybe that broaches it a little. But it could come off as being very passive aggressive. She could be like, hey, if you wanted me to stop, just ask.
Well, here's the thing, though. You're making money. She assumes she's living next to people. Mm-hmm. Instead, she's living next to a business.
It's not
That's
her
not
fault.
her fault.
It's not her
That's
fault
true.
you're running a preschool out of your living room.
Right.
Yep.
So, yeah, you should put the expense. Since you're making money off of this, you should put the put the netting up.
Or just put
out of
it,
your
or just
pocket.
cover up that window.
I'm sick of kids being the reason for every shitty thing like that. Taking away little freedoms. Why don't my windows go down in my car? Oh, kids fucking fall out of cars. Well, buckle them in more. I want to be able to rest my arm out of the back seat of my goddamn car.
Exactly. I'm with you on that one 100%. Fuck kids.
You both are going to feel very differently one day.
I'm never having kids, and I don't want them.
No, I just meant one day you'll.
Oh, I never will.
There's kids out there. There's little Duchesnes out there. You're just ignoring them.
Well, that's their fucking problem.
You just rip up your mail.
That's their problem.
I just give them somebody else's name that I find on Facebook.
Those are
doing that
Shane
for
Roberts
everything
kids. All right. Dan and Robert, I have a neighbor that... There's a lot of neighbor problems. I have a neighbor that has been relatively quiet for the past couple of years and recently got a dog. They tie the poor mutt out during the day while they go to work, and the dog barks all day, which is very distracting to me as I work third shift and sleep during the day. I called and politely mentioned that this was very disturbing, and all I got for an answer was sorry. The dog will have to get used to being tied out. I'm sure things will get better. This was 2 weeks ago, and I'm losing sleep. What should I do?
Don't kill the dog. Your neighbors suck. That's clear. But don't kill the dog. I know that would be some people's idea, like, fuck this dog. I'm going to slip a little poison in there. You hear those stories, heartbreaking. So,
Well, the problem with that is, I understand that thinking, because your first thought is, I'm going to kill the neighbor.
Yeah.
That's what this asshole.
But that's
is
illegal. Killing a
you
dog
will go
is less
to jail
illegal.
for a long time, kill a neighbor. Okay, the next step, I'll kill the dog. So I understand it. I mean, I wouldn't do it.
You can get the dog
Per
taken
se.
away. I mean, you can call the city and complain and say there is a nuisance, and they will come out, like animal control will come and take that dog away.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I've also heard it the other way. I mean, it's to a point where once you call a couple times and the problem doesn't get fixed, they stop coming out.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? They don't really have any teeth, which I think
They don't
is-
like it
I
when you
just-
call when you cry dog.
It's I fucking. It's unbelievable. It's so rude to have a fucking dog that barks all day.
That you're just ignoring. I mean, what if you just snuck over there and untied it, let it run around a little bit? Maybe they'd come home and see, hey, the dog
Get
got
run
loose.
over by a car.
No, it's in the backyard. So it's like he's being tied in a yard. I don't know. I would explore that. Like maybe they come home and they find out, we don't need to tie
This is a tough
it.
one because I had a dog and Duchesne tied it up outside of my apartment and instead of walking it, just tied it up. So this is a fucking thing that's happened to us.
But they didn't bark. I put duct tape on her muzzles. Go ahead. We got our producer, Dick,
I have a solution.
from the Dick and Darren show.
I used to work for a guy named Dr. Dog, who was a dog psychologist. And he told me that dogs are pack animals and they freak the fuck out when they're left alone. They don't know you're coming back. When a dog is tied up by itself, it thinks imagine being tied like locked in a cave and you don't think anybody's ever going to come get you again. That's why when you come home and dogs see you, they're like, thank God. To them, it's like being rescued. Dogs can't stand to be by themselves. So the solution actually is to get another dog to keep him company.
Okay. Well, we were writing at a friend's house. I like that a lot. That maybe get a stuffed dog and put it over there. But we were writing at a friend's house, and his neighbor had 2 dogs that were fucking yapping. Remember?
Were they little?
Little yappy
That's all
dogs.
they do, yeah.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah,
Okay.
Quinn.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't want to say his name.
Why?
I don't know. Okay, people will steal his identity.
What? Don't say that his passcode is 3482.
Years ago, I was headed to work, and this woman called and was like, "Hey, is this your dog?" And I said, "Oh, damn it! Yeah, he got out again. My roommate sleeps."
Was it yours, or you just
Yeah,
made that up?
no, he was. he got out all the time. My neighbors, or
Yeah, that's my dog. I'll take it.
my roommates would leave the gate open all the time, and he would just go wander around. He liked to go out and sniff things, and then he'd come back. But so I go, there's nothing I can do. I'm going to work. She goes, well, I'm going to tie him on my porch because I'm going to work soon too, and I'll leave a bowl of water out for him. And I was like, that's great. So I get done. I was substitute teaching, so I got out kind of early, race over to her place, and I pull up in front of the house. And I look over. There's just a bowl of water and a rope with a frayed end. Like he had chewed himself loose. And I was like, oh, God. And now I have no idea where he's gone. So
Really? That's what you did? I wish I could have been there.
I was freaking out. Like, oh, shit, now he's been loose for an entire day. And so I went home to change to get him my, like, dog finding clothes. And he's just hanging out at the house. He just chewed himself loose and just gone home.
Right. Eventually they do come home.
Yeah. So this dog, if he likes it there, if you do untie him, he'll probably come back because he knows that's where the pack's going to be. So just one thought, just untie him. And then your neighbor's like, fuck, now we can't prove that this guy untied him, but we know that the dog somehow gets loose. Maybe we should leave him in the house.
But then the dog is just going to run around the yard. I mean, it's not going to be able to get back inside.
Those
or it's not
dogs
gonna
were in the
yell.
backyard running around when we were at Quinn's house.
Yeah, just because they're not tied up doesn't mean they're not going to bark all day.
Right.
That's true.
It's get another dog and throw it in there. And go, oh my God, your dog is now 2 dogs. I put water on it after midnight, and it's now 2 dogs.
Yeah, I do the calling thing and see if that works. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know what to do. It's
Or
just
maybe,
so fucking this is my idea that I had because I had my neighbor was playing video games and playing music, and all I heard was the bass. He had his woofer right up against my wall. Talked to him a couple times. It would work for a while. So finally, I'm a comic. I got to go on the road for 2 weeks. So I put my stereo speakers right up against the wall, packed fucking pillows around them, and went on the road for 2 weeks. When I came back, there was a note on my bed that the manager had come in and said they checked the fire alarm or the smoke alarms, but my stereo was off.
Yeah.
And from then on. So this is what I was thinking. If that ever happens to me with a dog, I'm going to record
Strap
the dog.
the dog to the wall with pillows on it.
Oh, record the dog and then just play it on the
Record
stereo?
the dog and then at midnight start playing the fucking barking with my speaker out the window towards the neighbors.
Why didn't you say that right off the jump? That's fantastic.
I just thought of it. That's why.
That's pretty good.
That's really good.
Yeah. So you're like fighting dog with dog.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
And it's their dog. And if you can't, you can amplify that shit, get some bass. Boom.
Yeah. Hire a DJ to come in and
Exactly.
add a dub beat to give you the dub beat mix, dubstep mix.
Exactly.
That's a good solution. I like that one. All right, here's another one. Maybe you should switch apartments with the guy with the lady sunbathing next to him.
Yeah. I don't know.
Definitely.
You just want to get back to the lady sunbathing.
I do. Okay. Here's the next one. Hey guys, love the show.
I just thought of, in thinking that the email he could have attached a picture. That's how you get her to stop sunbathing. Just snap a couple photos. Then she gets real creeped out, and then sorry, I was your lawn. I wanted to show my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And then she's creeped for life. She won't come back out again.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
There doesn't even have to be filming the camera.
No.
That's pretty shitty. But you just give us the 2-minute warning.
Really? Nuh-uh.
See, that's what I was saying. We got to get to listener problems earlier.
I know.
Sorry you're here for the restructuring of the show. That
I like it,
we're
guys.
doing
I'm having
live.
fun.
Wait.
I can't
the whole way
wait. I'm
down
going to listen
here.
to your podcast. Make sure you give the
okay.
link out or whatever.
Sure.
You kids are calling it these days. I want to listen to it, man.
Words of Dan Gabriel. What the kids are
what the
doing.
kids are doing. Okay, well, let me get out this other problem. I was going to do that one. I'll do a shorter one. Hey, guys, my future in-laws are buying us a home in time for our wedding this May. His parents may have one condition, that the house would be in my fiance's name only. This makes me feel like they don't trust our relationship. You're damn right they don't.
No, they do not at all.
They absolutely don't, and that is a prenup. That is a fucking...
Yeah, it's a prenup. That's, yeah. So what...
If they get married and the house is only in his name and they don't have a prenup, that house is still yours, sweetheart.
Yeah. Yeah, you're married to the guy, so everything is... Yeah. So
You're
it doesn't
fine.
really...
Well, check with a lawyer and make sure that's true, but here's the thing. I would think maybe you could make an arrangement with your husband. I don't know, that maybe payments that you would have made on the house goes into account in your name.
Here's how you get even with him. When he's
You know what
away
I mean?
at work...
Yeah.
I mean, if I was with a woman and her parents bought her a house, we're married, and it's only in her name, it's going to be hard to get that through divorce court. You're going to have to hire lawyers, you know.
Well, if someone was buying a home that I got to live in, I don't know why I'd feel like my name should be
Well,
on it.
it's a slap in the face from your in-laws, is what it
It
is.
definitely
It's
is
a we
that.
don't think this shit has legs, and you're gonna be out whore soon. So
Yeah.
fucking why put this in paper? Why did they? That's bullshit, man.
Yeah, it's definitely bullshit.
And also,
But you get a free house. I mean, it's a pretty good deal. You get to live in a free house.
and the monogrammed gifts that they're giving out at the wedding say our son and some whore.
Yeah,
That's not a lot of faith.
his name and then just and her.
Here's how you
Come
get.
to our
Here's how
wedding
you
of our
get
son.
even. Here's how you get it even. While he's away at work, you go sunbathe in the backyard.
No, you give me a call, honey.
All right, we got to start wrapping up. Which problem do you like the best?
Sunbathing.
Sunbathing? Really?
Absolutely. Well, why not?
Yeah, the visual is.
Well, except it's the bitching of the sunbathing.
That's true.
That's
Yeah, I can't stand behind that.
I can't stand behind it
I like
because
the
we send them
dogs.
our CDs and a coupon for bitching.
Oh, the
sauce.
dog. I feel bad for
I
that
think
guy.
the dog
Yeah.
guy. The dog guy gets the CDs. Because,
I vote for the dog, too.
Yeah, because he has the most bullshit in his life. The first person's got a naked lady in their yard, and the other one's getting a house. So fucking let's send the CDs to the. So it doesn't say the guy's name here. Anyway, send us if that is your problem. Contact me through thebestmedicineshow.com, and we will send you some autographed CDs and some bitchin' sauce. And I would like to plug some dates if I could, real quick. If you're listening to this pretty quickly, this weekend I'll be at Flappers in Burbank with the hilarious Jake Johansson.
Nice.
And he's awesome. So come see that show. Do you have anything you'd like to plug?
I have a new CD. It comes out on iTunes April 16th.
Is this your third?
Yeah.
Holy
Well,
shit,
the first one was
dude.
just sort of like a short one, but yeah, the third one.
Damn.
And ProfessorBlastoff.com. And we're doing a big national tour starting in Phoenix on April 27th.
For the three of you?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it should be pretty fun.
You're all
So-
hilarious.
Just go to robertduchesne.com.
Okay, and we're going to start giving out a little piece of advice at the end of the show as our attempt to structure the show more. And I wrote it down, and it'll be different every time. And the piece of advice for today is... It's easy to think that it's easy to judge somebody just because you think you're better than them. Thank you very much. That's our show, everybody.
Well, if life got you down and you're wearing